Alert. Written by James Patterson and Michael Bennett. Read by Danny Mastrogiorgio and Henry Leyva. For Sister Sheila. Prologue. The Old Sod. 1. Mike, Mary Catherine here said you're NYPD. So you've gunned down a lot of people then, have you? I raised an eyebrow over the rim of my glossy waiting room magazine at Billy, the slim, scruffy law office receptionist typing at his computer. Like many of the Irish folk I'd come into contact with in Southern Ireland over the last week, Billy had a distinctive, mischievous twinkle in his Irish eyes. Akin to hurling and Gaelic football, pulling the legs of dumb Yanks like me seemed to be an Emerald Isle national pastime. The land of saints, scholars, and sarcasm, I whispered to Mary Catherine, who was sitting on the leather couch next to me. Well, that depends, Billy, I said as I went back to reading about what Camilla was up to in my OK London celeb mag. Oh, on what, pray tell, detective? The receptionist said, finally turning from his screen. I casually put down the magazine and lifted the floral-patterned china cup of Javalia coffee he'd fetched us when we came in. On what you consider a lot, I said. The law office was in the city of Limerick, around 90 minutes west of Mary Catherine's family's tiny farmhouse outside Clonmel in Tipperary. It was in a new modern brick and glass building on a bustling street called Halley's Quay that ran along the rippled slate ribbon of the River Shannon. Outside the floor-to-ceiling window, behind the wise guy receptionist, was a high-rise apartment building and a 10-story silver glass office tower. Not exactly midtown Manhattan, but definitely not the traditional thatch-roof rural Ireland I remembered from the last time I had been here with my family to visit relatives when I was 14. The office belonged to a real estate lawyer, and we were there to close on the sale of the small hotel and golf course Mary Catherine's mother had run before she passed away. Since it was a quick sale, money was being left on the table, but Mary Catherine had it minded because they'd found a buyer who would keep the place running. 23 people worked there, old family friends and cousins, and Mary Catherine needed to be sure that they would be taken care of before we went back to New York. Mary Catherine, sorry to keep you waiting, said the real estate agent and lawyer, Miranda O'Toole, as she poked her head out of her office a few minutes later. I took my coffee with me as she waved us into her bright office. Miranda was a tall, milky-complexioned woman in her 40s with dark red hair. She unbuttoned her elegant, tailored navy blazer, slipping it on the back of her chair before turning down the Haydn playing softly from the Bose speaker on her desk. She smiled as she rolled up the sleeves of her cream-colored blouse. I hope your writing hand is limber, Mary Catherine, she said, pointing at a high stack of papers on a small conference table by the window. We have a lot of documents to sign. 2. But wait, Mary Catherine said as we sat. Where's the buyer? I thought Mr. Hart would be here with us. There was a lot I wanted to go over with him. You know, details about the place, the employee roles, and all the different shifts and such. Oh, yes, Mr. Hart, Miranda said, smiling pleasantly as she sat down beside us. Unfortunately, he had a business thing today up in Dublin, so he came in and signed yesterday evening. I hope that's not a problem. Mary Catherine looked at her, still a little confused. I suppose not, she finally said. Perhaps you can call him this afternoon, Miranda said, uncapping a red and gold Mont Blanc pen and offering it to Mary Catherine. Go over everything then. Perhaps, Mary Catherine said, finally taking the pen as Miranda deftly turned over the first sheaf of documents and opened it to the signature page. Mary Catherine, before you get started, I'd like to ask Miranda a question, I said as Mary Catherine was about to sign the first line, if that's okay. Yes, Miranda said a tad curtly as she darted her intelligent gray.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?